Unite Win Podcast, episode 36. This week I sat down with Mark from Riverside, local IE legend and a friend of mine. We talked growing up in Riverside, and man, we got into a lot of like really interesting topics and like social media marketing and strategy and his strategy. And I think this is applicable and very valuable to anyone trying to kind of like find some reach in 2026. On social media with the saturation and where it's at. This is a good one. This is a different one. This is a cool one. It's a bit of a deep cut. It's not your typical tattoo podcast I put out, but man, it's a refreshing one, no doubt. So without further ado, let's get into the podcast. Dude, you grew up in Riverside. You went to Poly.
North.
Oh, shit. My bad. Damn, is that a rival?
Yeah. That was the rival back then.
That makes sense. That is close. Okay, interesting. Okay. What year was your graduating class?
94.
94. Yeah. Damn, I was a baby.
Yeah.
I was 4 years old.
4 years old.
Oh, man. It's cool to be the young guy in the scenario. Yeah. So what was Riverside like back in 94?
Man, Riverside... Obviously, the barn was still going on, and going to shows there, and Skeletones and Voodoo, and seeing them there. So
it's like that third wave of ska hitting big like time, real Big Fish and all that stuff's happening. Yeah,
that was fun. So the music scene was cool; it still existed. But I left Riverside in 95, 96. So the one thing I do regret is grew up in Riverside, went to high school, and then was here like a year after. And then I left, and I was in Texas for a while, and then I was in the Carolinas. So all my 20s and 30s, especially my 20s, like the barn was like still a thing and still hitting.
So you're kind of missing out.
I missed Riverside like as a 20 something, 30 something. I moved back, later.
Yeah.
So like even like at the show right now at Riverside Art Museum, the 60 miles. Even like a lot of that stuff I missed. So that's the one thing I regret, just missing Riverside in that era, at that age,
Right.
When you have total freedom. You're not a teenager anymore. But.
Yeah, but maybe you wouldn't have even valued it, like maybe it's better that you missed it to some degree. I mean, if you stayed, you never would have gotten to really know what you were missing if you didn't go away to begin with, right?
For sure. I mean, at the end of the day, I wouldn't change it, because like I did humanitarian work for 2 years. Like I lived in Cairo, Egypt for 2.5 months.
Whoa.
So,
what was that like? Don't glaze over that. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah. So, but to say that, like, I don't regret it, because like the experience I had, and then coming back to Riverside 18 years later, and being able to have that appreciation for it, I for sure I don't think I'd be doing what I'm doing now.
Right.
Without that. But yeah, it was in 1996.
Okay.
And went to Cairo, Egypt. We were like just outside the city, and staying like in a monastery. But there was basically the huge garbage dump for the giant city of Cairo is just outside it. There's this mountain called like Mukatam Mountain, and right at the base of the mountain is where they just dump all the trash. There's a community of people that just live on the outskirts, and they build their houses and try to find food, and they basically live off the trash of the city. And there was a guy that basically moved in with them and was just loving on them and helping them and trying to, reach that community where they're at. And so we were kind of working with them and for about 2 months. It was crazy. I was 18, 19 years old and grew up here in Riverside, and had barely seen anything outside of Riverside. And so all of a sudden to find yourself in that environment, in that world, which was like going to another planet.
Yeah, just a whole different world. Crazy. For sure. Yeah. Damn. So you were there for 2 years, you said?
In Cairo for 2 months.
Okay, okay.
I did that.
It's vastly different. Yeah. My role, I'm like, holy shit. Okay. Yeah.
I traveled for 2 years. So like I was in Bulgaria for 2 months, and we'd basically go into an area where working with orphanages, hospitals, like distributing food and clothing, and work with people that were existing there. We were like a short-term team that would come in and help people out.
What a cool experience. Yeah. What a trip. Yeah, at that age too. I mean, yeah, I'm always envious of like the kids that get to have like a summer European thing and they go across all of Europe. Like it's just time. Like we never have time. I can go to a place, but I only have a week or two to be there and have to get back to this place. But being young and having that time, that's that's the thing that you don't really get back over time. You get less and less time.
No, yeah. And two, like I feel like 2 months, it was long enough to where you're like, okay, I'm here, you know, because I'm like doing my daily routine and you're getting homesick and all that. But I think the perspective it gave me doing that for 2 years of one, just appreciating like what I have here, what I grew up with and the things that I have, having that appreciation. Like I like to tell people, I feel like every teenager or young adult should do two things. You need to wait tables. So because I learned so much waiting tables and serving people, and people that have waited tables will say, oh yeah, everyone needs to wait tables one time. Like understand customer service.
Yeah.
Like you're a way better customer the rest of your life if you waited tables because you understand the other side of it. And then the other thing is like spend some time in another country, especially like if you have an opportunity to spend time in a third world country, especially. I know there's places that are really dangerous, but just gives you a perspective and appreciation. But beyond that, I think the biggest thing for me that I feel like I've realized little by little over the years, especially like I just turned 50 and I feel like I keep realizing more depth to this realization, was that at the end of the day, like we're all humans, like we're all the same, you know. Like when I was in Cairo, I'm 18 and there's these like 4 or 5 kids. They're probably like 5 to 10, 11, 12 years old. No shoes, just tattered clothing, you know, and there's literally burning trash 5 feet away from us and broken glass and needles and everywhere. And they were playing hacky sack with like a ball they'd made out of twine and everything. And I had a hacky sack. I pulled it out and I was, you know, playing with these kids and they're like laughing and we don't speak the same language. So we're trying to communicate, you know, the best way we can. And they were just happy. And I remember sitting there and looking at them thinking, why are these kids so happy? Like they should be crying. They should be miserable, you know? And then when I left, I gave them my hacky sack and they were just like, I'd never seen someone be so appreciative or like of something. And so, and I probably have 15, 20 different experiences like that over those 2 years, but the depth of what I've understood and tried to apply to the way I live and the way I do things is that we're all just people, no matter what we look like on the outside or where we come from. Like we have way more in common than we have that's different, especially in today's world with the culture we live in and everything's so polarized. It's like, man, we're all people, you know?
Yeah, there's definitely like a current trend of like highlighting our differences and not our commonalities. And that's like the kind of like, I don't know, it's just a weird divisive time. Like it's kind of like reverting in a very strange way that I don't think is like a good thing for anybody today.
No. And it's weird too, because it's in some ways we're less like that in some ways. Like I remember I got my first tattoo when I was in high school. Yeah. And I was the only kid, you know, in high school that had one, and it was pretty uncommon. Yeah. Especially for, you know, here in Riverside, and I grew up in a middle class family, you know, white family. So I feel like in some ways things are a lot more accepting, right?
Yeah, before, I mean, that's not a shock anymore, right? Now there's so that's crazy. Tell me the story of the first tattoo. How did you come about getting that young? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I was my buddy Jeff, it was our senior year, and we both always talked about, you know, getting a tattoo, and we both turned 18 right at the beginning of our birthdays were a day apart.
Okay,
so he was 12th and I was the 13th, and so the beginning of our senior year, we're like, when we turn 18, we're gonna go get tattoos. Yeah. And I played soccer since I was young, and so I'm like, what am I gonna get? At first I was gonna get a tribal band because that's what everybody was getting at the time. Yeah. It's like I'll get a tribal band on my arm, and I had an older friend that had one. And it was like one of the only kids I knew that had one.
You didn't want to join his tribe at that time?
No. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't do that one because there's a big old giant tribal band on my arm. So I guess I kind of chickened out, and I'm like, I'll get one on my ankle. Yeah. And I got the old Adidas flower emblem because
That's right. I do remember this. Okay. Yeah.
So I got that on my ankle, and my buddy Jeff got 2 giant Old English J's on his chest.
Okay. Yeah. Didn't you run into someone that had the same tattoo?
Yeah, I was in South Carolina. Years ago, and there's a guy, he has sandals on, and the same placement inside right ankle. I thought I would never see some. I look at it, I'm like, no way. Yeah. So I like, hey man, I just pull up my pants, and he like freaked out too.
That's so cool. I love that.
I'm like, you played soccer? He's like, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I feel like Damn. So was it like your 18th birthday? How old were you when you made it happen?
I think it was just like a week or two after we turned
Okay,
18.
yeah. What shop or house did you go to?
It was in Moreno Valley. I'm trying to remember what it was called.
Okay.
I think it was kind of like down Alessandro when you get deep into Moreno Valley,
Okay.
somewhere over there. Yeah, I can't remember what it was called.
Oh man,
We
that's a bummer.
There's no internet, so we're like
Right.
asking Yellow Pages, like, where's it,
Yeah.
where's the closest tattoo parlor? And we just walked in. We didn't know what we were doing.
Damn.
It was an old biker guy.
Yeah.
Just giant beard and yeah.
Wow, what a trip. What was the shop minimum back then?
I'm trying to remember how much I paid for it. I don't
Like
even-
$50 or
Oh
something?
yeah, I think it was like $45.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, the inflation conversation is kind of a crazy one to look back. Even a few years ago with how things have ramped up, right? It's
Yeah.
wild.
With everything, yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I was just in Arizona this past weekend tattooing, and in Tucson, gas was $2.44. Yeah.
Someone
Pretty
told me
wild.
they got it here at Costco for like $3.40
Yeah.
for the other day.
Yeah, I remember it's like, it's just not surprising anymore now. Like,
No.
it's just like, okay, gas is expensive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that when it goes back up to $5, we're going to be like, we've seen it before. Like, it's like, I don't know. It's just, can't bat an eye at it. It's going up. It's going down. It's just hard to keep up with right now, I guess.
Yeah. Once we've seen it once. I remember, you have those like vivid memories.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going to, when I moved to South Carolina, it was like 2001,
Mm-hmm.
and the giant gas station sign off the freeway with the price, it was 97 cents. It's like,
Oh, wow.
those memories you have burned in your
Yeah.
brain, especially over the years. Like I remember when it went to $2, $3, $4.
Yeah.
We'll never see that again.
Right on the corner of just like University in Chicago. If you're on University going up towards UCR and you turn left on Chicago, like you're going to Arcade.
Yeah.
On the right-hand side is a dirt field right before Arcade where that old video store was.
Yep.
And there was an old gas station sign. I think they got rid of it maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
But up until like last year, it had like the prices on it. It said like $1.34 a gallon.
Jeez.
It just been up,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, we'll never see that.
Yeah. You never know. With all this like pillaging and shit, gas prices might come down.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
That's the world we live in. It's like don't never say never.
I know. Justin Bieber, right? Is it Justin Bieber quote right there?
Yeah. That's what exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So like so in the Carolinas you start getting into like you started like doing like a magazine or something like that, you were saying?
Yeah, so I went to school there, and then while I was in school, I started a commercial window cleaning business.
Oh, okay.
Did that for a number of years. Ended up selling it, and then my dad was retiring here, and he was moving out there. So I had my window cleaning business, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna move out there. Want to go into business together." So I sold my window cleaning company, and we bought a Cold Stone Creamery franchise together.
No way.
I was in my senior year of college. Yeah.
So you were like putting gummy bears and ice cream out
Yeah,
there?
mixing in Snickers. And
Oh, dude, that's so
peanut butter
cool.
cups.
Okay.
Yeah, so we bought an existing store, and then we built out a second one that was like 15, 20 minutes away.
Wow.
And then he was running one store, I was running one store, and which was cool to spend that time,
Yeah.
with my dad. My parents were super young when I was married, or when I was born.
Yeah.
So we did that for a handful of years, and then sold those, and I moved up to North Carolina
Okay.
and got into publishing. And so I
Wow.
started publishing magazines, worked for a publishing company, and did that for a number of
Damn.
years.
Do you ever miss slinging that cream?
No. No. I mean, it was, I don't regret it because I didn't go to business school. And,
Right.
So that was like my business education and schooling for sure. I got, thrown into understanding the business world and marketing and doing local marketing and just trying to figure it all out, which that route is way better for me. I hate school. Like I
Yeah,
learned,
get
throw me in
hands-on.
it and I'll research, I'll learn, I'll get creative and figure it out. So yeah, the ice cream part and scooping and mixing it definitely don't miss. But people,
Do you walk into a Cold Stone and you're just like you're like, I know this spot, I know the tricks.
yeah, for sure. Especially the first like 5 years after.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
walk in, but man, what are they doing over there? Or they're doing that wrong. But funny story.
You call that a scoop?
Yeah. Give me those. Things.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
my son Tristan, who's 22 now.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I sold the store, he was little. He was like 8 or 9, 10.
Right.
And it was probably 2 years ago we went into one.
Yeah.
And I hadn't walked into a Cold Stone, I think, with him since then. And he obviously hadn't been into one for a while because we made our waffle cones in there, you know?
Yeah.
So we walk in and he goes, it's like 12 years later, he's like, Dad, this is what you used to smell like.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
pretty
because
cool.
the waffle cones have such a strong scent, and I would make those things every day, so they would just, my clothes would smell like it. But yeah, that was funny. He's like, dang, Dad, that's how you used to smell all the time.
That's kind of like a wholesome one. I like that.
Yeah.
It's better than me like smelling Marlboro Reds and thinking about my dad.
Yeah. or my grandpa worked at he owned a dairy, so smelling like cow shit.
Yeah. Yeah. That one kind of sucks for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. It's kind of wild. Like, what if you like lived in Chino or Eastvale and you come back home and just nostalgia of that hits you?
Well, it does actually for me because my grandpa had a dairy in Chino, what's in Eastville, off like Archibald.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so he had that till I was in 5th grade. And so I'd spend weekends at 4, 5, 6 years old. Like that giant dairy was my playground, climbing big piles of grain and bales of hay and all
poop.
all the water feeders had goldfish in them. So I'd be in there with cups.
Oh,
trying to
really?
catch gold. I don't know why they're in there, but
Huh.
so I was in Eastville the other day, and this gust of wind I was in Norco, and this gust of wind just came out of nowhere, and then like 20 seconds later, it just smelled like cow shit.
Yeah.
And it just flooded back all those memories.
Fart in the wind, dude. Brought you right back. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Fart Town, USA.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's like, I feel like even though I'm kind of a poser, because like Norco Tattoo is like more like North Corona. So it's like I'm in Norco, but I'm not really in Norco. I'm not really like, I'm just like couple, just so close, but not there yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Right on the fringe.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I wish for the theme of the tattoo shop, I was maybe off like 6th Street or something, but like geographically, it's nicer being closer to the 91 and being closer to Corona. It's closer for people coming to Orange County, and geographically it's better. But for the theme, for the sake of that thing, I think being on 6th Street would be the thing to see horses walking by.
Yeah. That would be rad. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like, it sucks when people come to like Norco and have to explain what Norco is, but I can't like show it to them out the window. You know what I mean?
Right.
This unc's got a lot of junk. So I'm having a yard sale. I'm getting rid of a bunch of stuff. I'm saying farewell. This camera I bought in 2018, and this was with me at the very beginning of Unite and Win Tattoo. And it's got some little relics from the past here to share with you. It's got a little bit of maroon paint right here on the knob. Let's see if you can kind of see that right there. Other than that, it's got perfectly working condition, articulating screen, exactly what you need to do. That's the thing. I also, man, I'm gonna miss this thing. I don't use it. That's the problem. You know, I have a lot of stuff. And yeah, so this was with me from the beginning of Unite and Win Tattoo, late 2019, used it through 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. This has made a lot of my home movies, and I'm going to let it go on the cheap. I'm having a yard sale. I'm getting rid of some stuff. It's time to sweep. And if you want to start making videos like me, this is a great place to start because, you know, hey, it got me here, and now you're here with me. I'm also putting out a new book. It's gonna it's not put together yet, but it's about to be, and it's 100 eagles, and it's, yeah, you know, if you want to get an eagle, there's all my eagles. So I'm gonna be letting go of some tattoo machines, some off-sized merch, dead stock, some personal things, maybe some antiques. I'm just gonna start listing. So yeah, if you like the stuff I like and you're here listening and you want to see what I'm talking about, the link will be in the description below, and you could just go to waynefredrickson.com and go to like the merch section, and there'll be a garage sale section. I'm figuring it out right now. So, you know, I'm gonna start just listing stuff, and yeah, everything's gonna be a great deal. So if you want to steal, there you go. That's my spiel. Let's get back into the interview for real. So you get into like publishing. So how did that even come about? Are you working for someone? You're working your way up that ladder? Like,
so I sold the Cold Stone and was trying to figure out what to do. And
yeah,
another funny story. I remember because, you buy a franchise, right?
Right.
And then I remember we started 2005, and then by 2008, 9, the economy tanked. Like we were struggling those last few years. And even on a good year, it's such a seasonal business that we would lose money from November to March. Like on a good year, you just lose.
Oh, wow. And you're just banking on the summer to make
Summer,
up
you
those
catch
months.
up.
Yeah.
So once the economy tanked, like those first couple bad summers, it's like, oh, this winter is going to be, So anyway, I remember I was looking for figure out what I was going to do. And Tristan, who was like 8, 9, 10 at the time,
Yeah.
he comes in my office and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, applying for jobs, or I have an interview. And he's like, any that look good? And I remember telling him about the one that I actually did. So yeah, I have an interview. I like this one. I think this one might work out. And he goes, how much is that one going to cost you? I was like, I don't have to pay for this job.
Yeah.
But from the mouths of babes, it's like his understanding. Like, yeah, I actually had to pay for that job.
Damn, that's kind of my perspective in my business. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
That makes me look at it a whole different angle. Yeah.
And then I remember especially the last 2 years, and I remember figuring out how many hours I was working and what I was paying myself. I'm like, my manager's making more an hour. And I mean, he's a college student. He's working obviously far less hours, but so anyway, so I ended up finding a publishing company. That's what took me from South Carolina to North Carolina.
Okay.
And the way they had it set up was to where they had these city magazines that were much like the Riverside magazine.
Yeah.
But rather than focusing on a city, they would focus on basically a community or a neighborhood. And
So it was like a little more like blatantly local, like a little more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we don't really have them here, but back east, most cities have neighborhoods. Like it's a name. It's a defined geographical area.
Okay.
Everyone knows, oh yeah, I live in Wakefield. I live in Heritage. I live in Northridge.
Yeah.
There are these very defined neighborhoods. Some of them have like community, like in Chapel Hill, there's one called Governor's Club. Michael Jordan had a house in that community. So it was typically the more affluent neighborhood. And we put together like a local magazine, and it would be featuring the people that live in the community. So we do like a family of the month and a pet of the month, yard of the month type.
That's
thing.
kind of cool.
And it would get sent to everyone that lived in the neighborhood for free each month. So that was the model they had, and they basically were hiring people to start it in. It was similar to a franchise model, which I was used to, but wasn't a franchise, so it was all just sweat equity. Like you had to come in and just get that magazine off the ground in that community, and they would say, hey, this is your community.
And is the money kind of coming from a couple local bigger businesses to put their stuff in there?
They'd advertise, yeah. So we would like have the local dealership, to the local dentist, to the accountant, basically any business or service that community would use. So I came in and I started one there in North Carolina, and then typically publishers, they would have like one or two, and then within, I think, a year, I had 4 that I had started.
Oh, wow.
And then they asked me to basically oversee a territory. So we had the Triangle, which was like Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill. They call it the Triangle there. And so they asked me to basically oversee that territory, and then I basically coached and mentored all the publishers that were in there. So really quickly moved up there, had 4 men, that eventually had 5 magazines, and then a couple years in, they wanted to start a real estate magazine, and they asked me to. They had one up in Indianapolis. They had got off the ground, and they were still trying to figure out what is this magazine going to be, because like we have this model of creating something that people in this community love, and advertisers desperately want to get to them. But it's just like the oversimplification of it. Like we created something they couldn't wait to get it each month, and then we had people pay that couldn't get in the gate or couldn't get in there.
That absolutely makes sense. Yeah.
And so the advertising was really easy to sell. And this was 2012, so social media, and like we were just starting that world.
It's just starting to happen, yeah.
So we were at the very end of that era of marketing, and it was such a niche market. It worked really, really well. It was very profitable. And so they wanted to do that, basically take that concept and like, let's do that for the real estate agents in the community. So they had one in Indianapolis that they got off the ground, but they're still trying to figure out the identity of the magazine. So they asked me to start one in where I was in North Carolina, and basically said, just figure out what you think the content should be. We knew what people in these communities loved, like what can we put in something that real estate agents will love, and be a part of. And so I started mine. The one in Indianapolis was more informational, like tips about the market and staging a home. And as I was getting mine off the ground, I I spent like the first few weeks and even month or two just meeting with the top agents and be like, hey, this is what we're doing. Most of them knew me from my other magazines. And so like, what would make sense? And I quickly realized how relational the the business is. So your real estate agent, when they go into a transaction, they need a title rep, they need someone to do the loan, they need someone to do the home warranty, and they're the agents who's picking all those people. It's people they trust.
Right.
And so these loan officers and title reps and home warranty people are desperately trying to get to these real estate agents. So that was the secret sauce for that. Like if we can create someone that agents love, and then the people that desperately want to get in front of those agents, they can pay to be in it and make those relationships.
What theme did you tie into like to grab the community to want, like, what was I know that's the goal, but like the common folk pick up the magazine. What angle did you take on that?
So with that, I realized I was like, we're never going to be, because at first it was let's give them all information about real estate. And
Right.
we were only targeting the top agents.
Yeah.
So I thought they know more than us. We're not going to be able to teach them anything. We're
Right.
not, and we're never going to become, most of them have been doing it 10, 15, 20, 30 years because we
Right.
only focus on the top ones. And so meeting with the agents and realizing how social and relational it was. Like if I'm an agent and I'm working with the seller, you're working with and you have someone that wants to buy that house, and you and I had beers the other night and I see your offer come in, the chances of you getting your offer accepted
Yeah.
are much, much higher. So
No,
it's
that
very,
makes sense. Yeah.
very real. I mean, obviously nothing shady is going to happen, but like it's the way things happen. I might reach out to you and be like, hey, this, it's all about relationships. So that was the key part. I'm like, we need to make it a relational magazine instead of an informational magazine. So we'll do articles about who they are as people. So if you were an agent and you have tattoos and you like tattoos, instead of doing a feature about you and your fancy office and all the stuff you do, I'm going to do an article about you and that you're into tattoos, or they're into motorcycles, or that you're
Right.
into
That makes sense. Yeah.
golden retriever, whatever you're into.
Yeah.
that's
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Because that's how people build relationships. You realize, oh, I'm into this, you're into that. Like, let's hang out,
Totally.
So that was kind of the secret sauce. And then the other part was, it's no secret that, some real estate agents have big egos. So
Right.
if we put together an article that's going to be social, so it's going to actually help those top agents make relationships, which is hard for them to do because they're working and they're busy. So it was useful for them because they got to know all the top agents. And so I heard so many stories of, like, there was an article on you 2 months ago, and you have a listing, and you like this and I like it, and I send you a text message or an email like, hey, what's up, Wayne? I saw that listing you have. My name's Mark. I have some buyers that are gonna come look at it and start up a conversation with you. See, we have something in common, and so it's so helpful for them to know them.
Yeah.
But then we put out this magazine with them on the cover and the article, and it's the ego thing. So it just took off. We launched, I think, over 100 markets in like a year, from San Diego to Boston, New York, Chicago. Everywhere, it just took off. And I had the one in North Carolina. And then crazy, what brought me back to Riverside was I was running that magazine and I was training all the new publishers. So we were launching a couple markets a month.
Yeah.
And I would train all the new publishers. I'd fly to Chicago and train them how to go back and launch it in their market. And
So this model is just kind of spreading, like,
it just took off.
yeah, because you can implement this anywhere. Yeah.
And then I was doing interviews to hire publishers, and I get on my laptop to look. I had like in a couple of days, because someone would just put the interviews on my calendar and said Riverside, California. And I looked at it and I'm like, I'm not going to hire. I'm going to go to Riverside. And it was crazy because I've been gone for 15, 16, I think 17 years. I'd been gone. But that was like the first seed, was where I'm like, and actually I didn't hire that person. And in the back of I wasn't planning on coming back at that time. And then through a series of events within a year, I came back. But that was, up until that point, I didn't think I would come back.
Really?
But that was, it was that moment. Of, wait a minute. And then I came back and I started that magazine here.
What was it like coming back to Riverside? Did it feel familiar? Did a lot changed? What was it like?
Yeah, it's funny because like it was like a lot changed and a lot, and it didn't change. It was an interesting experience for me because grew up here, left when I was 18, 19, and like I lived in Texas, I lived in outside of Boston, I went to almost every state. I went to like 11 countries. So those 18 years, I saw a lot of the world. And then I come back to Riverside, and it was this feeling of home. Like, you know how I assume most people have the feeling when you're at your house and it's the end of the day and you get on your couch or your bed, wherever you watch TV, and you take your shoes off and you sink into that spot and you're like, oh, you know, that feeling of relaxing, like I'm home, you know?
Totally.
And even if you go to like your parents' house where you're comfortable there, you don't get that same feeling. Like,
Right.
even if it's your best friend, your parents, your siblings, you don't get that same feeling. And when I came back here, I had that feeling, and I didn't realize that I hadn't had it in a long time. No matter where I lived, whether it was Texas and coming here, I was like, oh, I'm home. I have that feeling. Like, that's the best thing I can compare it to.
I feel like Riverside is also kind of a place that is uniquely for its location where it's at. It's kind of stuck in time. Like, you hear about places like malls are dying, you know, like we have malls that are thriving. We have drive-ins that are still open. Like, we have, it's kind of like it's changed a lot, but I don't know, not a lot. And I feel like that's what makes it feel so familiar, makes it feel like home, you know?
For sure. Yeah. Like, when I first got back, even just the buildings and I mean, there's not a lot that has changed. There's areas like when I left, the plaza wasn't outdoor. It was indoor.
Right.
Wow. It was just
Wow.
at the verge of that. So there's little things like that. But like you said, we still have 2 drive-ins.
Yeah.
You know? I went to the mall the other day. It was packed. I couldn't find a parking spot.
Dude, the mall does well. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I had someone was in town getting tattooed from, I think they were from Kansas, and they came to United Way and they're like, man, your guys' mall's amazing. And Sean was like, really? Like, because he's like, oh, I know about bigger, cooler malls, right? Or whatever. And they're like, yeah, no, there's so much stuff and this and that. And I kind of told him, I was like, dude, we have a mall. Like, a lot of people don't have a mall. That's a pretty big deal. You know what I mean? And everything that you want and could need is there, you know? So yeah, it's successful.
And it was interesting too. So when I came back into that magazine, it was for the whole Inland Empire. So it was inland real estate agents for the Inland Empire. So each week we're doing a different photo shoot, doing an article. I'm going to all the photo shoots. So one day I'm in Upland, I'm in Redlands, I'm in Temecula. So I did that for 2 years. And so I got to see a lot of the Inland Empire.
Yeah.
And it's one thing I love about the area. Each city, like Upland has its own feel. Redlands, Ontario, like each city has its own little feel and identity. And there was just something about Riverside that was I noticed that I didn't notice when I was 18 or younger that was different. And I think the rain cross is just a symbol of it. It's not the rain cross, but I think it's kind of a symbol of it. And I remember seeing the rain cross everywhere when I got back. And I had to ask people, I don't remember seeing rain crosses everywhere. Did I just not notice them when I was a kid?
Right.
Or in the last 17 years, did we just print thousands of rain crosses and put it
What was your
everywhere?
earliest memory? Do you remember it at all when you sing around when you were a kid, like on some street posts in downtown, or what's your earliest memory of seeing it?
Honestly, I think there was like a soccer tournament called the Rain Cross something. I remember a shirt like had the Rain Cross on it. I don't have a lot of memories of seeing, and obviously like they're on the light posts. They were here.
Right, for sure.
I just didn't notice them. Like,
My earliest memory of like the Riverside Rain Cross would either be like tattoos on like gangsters or stickers on bros lifted trucks.
Okay.
Yeah, like that kind of like motocross era.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident I could say, because I left in what 96, 97. Like people weren't putting on their cars and stuff.
No, yeah.
Like that hadn't happened yet.
No, this is like late 90s. I'm noticing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think that happened. Like it was on walls and buildings and light posts and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I don't think, not to the scale that is now, people weren't like putting it on their car and making stickers and
Right.
and all that.
Well, I think also back then too, I think there wasn't as much pride in Riverside. Riverside was just kind of like this kind of commuter place, right?
Yeah.
People are living Riverside, but they're repping LA or Orange County, where they're from. I think that once you get more towards the late 90s, it becomes like this more like, it becomes more of a defined place, at least from what I can see from where I'm at, you know?
For sure. Well, because even the Mission Inn in the early 90s had a chain link fence around it. So just thinking about Riverside, like think about Riverside without the Mission Inn. Like it's a different place. And
Totally.
with a chain link fence around it.
Whoa.
And downtown, like you just don't go to that part of downtown.
Yeah, I didn't go to downtown until downtown to me when I was a kid felt like another world. It felt like it was probably LA or something. I thought it was so far. I didn't start going downtown until I was probably like 16, 17 or whatever. I
Yeah.
grew up in like Arlanza area. So I would be stomping around Arlington, La Sierra, the Tyler Mall kind of area, that
Yeah.
kind of like triangle. I take the 15 bus that would go all the way around, you know?
Yeah.
Or around 16, I'm taking the one to Corona to go showcase and come back. But downtown wasn't even really on my radar. It was kind of like still kind of a seedy place, you know? But I think like, yeah, maybe like 2007, 8, 9, that's when I start kind of going to downtown. There's more art galleries. It starts to be some random concerts and back to the grind. And it seems like that's where kind of the culture kind of was, you know? And I think is right now too, to a degree, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, Riverside, coming back and just feeling a sense of Riverside just was unique, even within the Inland Empire. I'm still trying to figure out why. I think like some of it has to do with our history and our beginnings, and like even the John W. North story of like him being an abolitionist and like wanting to, you know, ensure equality and creating this community. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't perfect and there were mistakes that everybody made, but there seemed to be this vision of like
Yeah.
creating something special.
I think we also have like, even though they may not be as clearly defined, these like neighborhoods within Riverside, like maybe in San Diego, they're very defined. Like there's a big old sign saying like where you're at,
Yeah.
you know, like Hillcrest or whatever, North Park. But like, I think being from here, it's pretty obvious, like being in like Woodcrest or being in like Canyon Crest or being in downtown Riverside or more like North Side, like more industrial area, or being in Orlando, or, you know, I think Riverside has a lot of personalities, a lot of like faces to it. I think that you can't just go to one place and like if you did just come to downtown, that's not Riverside. Or if you did go to like the drive-in near that area, Van Buren, that's not Riverside. Like there's a lot to it. It has a lot of personality that people don't see, I think.
Yeah, and that's interesting because I never really thought about this before, to where thinking of all the other places I lived, especially in the South. Like in the South, there's places where if you're this kind of person, you live here. If you look like this, you live here. And it's very well defined, and there's still a lot of segregation, and you see it, you know, and it's obvious, where there's a lot more mingling here in Riverside than any other place that I've lived.
That's interesting.
Like,
yeah.
Obviously we, you know, it's not perfect, and there's going to be some cases where it's not perfect. But with that said, I think that's one of the unique things, because I remember going back there when I went in 2001, and even like there were 2 malls. And if you were white, you went to this mall, and if you were black, you went to that mall.
Whoa.
And I
crazy.
I remember living on the side where the white people didn't go.
Yeah.
And I grew up here, right? Like I played soccer and sports, so from the time I can remember, I've just intermingled with everybody.
Right.
And I remember going to that mall and just getting looks. I'm like, thought I had something on me, like, why, you know, what's going on? And then realized, I'm the only person that looks like this here. But
it's like this unspoken thing.
This
How
unspoken
weird.
thing, yeah. Or even there were 2 McDonald's, and I lived by this McDonald's. That's the one I went to. But here coming back, especially coming out of that and coming here and seeing there's much more unity here. It's not perfect, and obviously there's a lot that needs to be changed, but compared to other places, there's a lot of intermingling, there's a lot of unity, there's a lot more acceptance of our differences here than other places.
It could also be just like a West thing though, right? California being like such a new state, everyone leaving and coming out West and kind of leaving those ideals behind, and becomes this like melting pot in its own right, I suppose.
For sure. It's absolutely a California thing, but I noticed the difference even in Riverside. Those 2 years where I was working in, you know, each week I was in a different city in the IE, I noticed even more of it in Riverside.
That's interesting. That's cool. That's a cool perspective I had not yet considered. So how do you start going more independent and making the pivot towards social media with your marketing?
Yeah, that was crazy. So we started that real estate magazine. I think I started my first one around 2016. And I remember starting it, and if you were posting a video on social media then, it was pretty much Facebook.
Right.
Like there weren't videos on Instagram or videos like there are now. like videos were going on Facebook,
Yeah.
and videos were doing well on Facebook. If you like, that was other than YouTube. Short term was Facebook,
Right,
Marketplace.
for sure.
Long form was YouTube. But for like local short, trying to reach a local audience was Facebook. And I remember starting it, and I was probably 2 years into realizing that where social media was at and where it was going, that what I was doing was going to die. Like I knew I knew there was a stamp, a time limit on it.
That's cool. You're aware enough to see that, you know?
Yeah. And it was getting harder and harder to sell advertising each year, a little bit harder. And I would work with like the marketing director of a national builder. I remember even in 2015, and one of them told me, I'm not allowed to spend any marketing dollars this year unless it's digital. And digital at the time it meant a lot of different things, but basically meant not print.
Yeah.
Is what it meant. And I started to hear that in 2015, 16 from some of the big national marketing.
Yeah. So the kind of writing was on the wall.
It was on the wall. And so when we started that real estate magazine, I wanted to go also all in on social media. Because at the time it was like, if you're a business, today it's like, if you're a business, you have to have social media. Back then it was, if you're a business, you probably should, was the thing. And so, but I was like, I don't want to start this magazine and then we'll add social media to it. I wanted to create something that was equally social media and digital to the printed version as well, and go all in on both of them. So that's what I did on mine, where we did basically created a vlog 2016 where we were vlogging, putting together the magazine together.
Oh, that's smart. Bring people along for the ride.
So it was like, hey, today we're going to do a photo shoot with Jim Allen, meet up with his family, and then we would document that whole thing.
Right.
And then we would show we're doing the photo shoot, and then like we would do a snap of that picture of him with his family. It would like snap, and then would snap again, and we'd show the article, like that picture in the magazine type thing.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was like documenting the process. So we did that for a couple years. And I remember the first video I put on Facebook, I did a podcast as well, where I would sit down and talk to those real estate agents. So it's like, we're doing this magazine that we're giving them, but it was private for them. But then these videos we're putting on social media and the podcast and interviews. So our reach was just enormous.
Yeah.
Which was a big part of why we were able to launch 100 markets in like a year.
And that's how you have to get people over, you know, like you have to go where they're at. You can't like expect them to come to you.
No. Yeah. You have to go where they're at. Like the first video, it was a podcast, but it was just like a 30-minute conversation that I was having with them. Put it on Facebook, and I don't think I'd ever I wasn't posting a lot of stuff, but you know, back then I'd post a video and get like 20, 30 people would watch it.
Right.
Just my friends. And it got like 35,000 views.
Oh, wow.
Which this is like 2016.
That dopamine rush, you're like, I'm famous.
It was, but more than that, it was like, this is amazing for this, you know, this magazine, and the more
it's
people,
working. You see the potential.
It's working. I was like, because I got pushback from the publishing company, like, no, they thought the social media was going to cannibalize the printed magazine, which I knew it was going to eventually, anyways. But
yeah,
so the guy kind of got pushed back of doing that, but we ended up doing it, and they got on board. But it was the next time I saw that real estate agent, and he's the number one agent in North Carolina for all brokerages. For Coldwell Banker, he's the number one agent of Coldwell Banker in the world, and he's in like the top 20. Just
wow,
huge real estate agent. But I had that conversation. Next time I saw him, he comes up to me. He's like, just dumbfounded. It was maybe like a month later, and he says, I can't tell you how many people have called me, have emailed me, have text messaged me that they saw that video. And like, it was so early on, he had never experienced anything like that on social media.
And the numbers are right there. You don't got to know anything to see the numbers.
It's right there. He says, I had someone reach out to me. I can't remember the exact age, but so it was like my best friend until 3rd or 4th grade. I moved away and lost touch, and he saw that video pop up on his Facebook. He's like, that's my friend when I was a little kid. And he messaged him, and they like ended up getting together. And
that's
so
cool.
those early days, just seeing the power of it, and how much attention was there, and how quickly it was to get it. So that evolved to 2 years later. I knew I wanted to get out of the publishing side. I was still working for the publishing company, and I was doing my own podcast on the side just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing videos like on Riverside, friends' businesses. I was like teaching myself how to edit because at that point I just hired videographers and we're doing all the editing.
Totally.
So I'm like, I want to learn how to edit on my phone and I made like a video of my dog going to Simple Simon's, like me and my dog going there just for fun. It was the first video I ever edited. And then I ended up doing a product for them that was because I wanted to do something for Riverside, and I was torn of doing it on my own or doing it with them. And they had a product publishing company that targeted like new movers.
Okay.
It was called Be Local. And so I'm like, okay, I can do that, but go all in on social media
Right.
and just start. Because that magazine was introducing someone that just moved here to the city. So like, this is where you go to eat. This is where the events are. This is, everything you want to know about Riverside. So my page was the social media version of that, basically.
Right.
And for me, I had that experience where I was falling in love with this city that I grew up in as a kid. And so I was excited to, one, just find all the new spots myself and share them. So it was very organic and genuine. And then the first year I was selling advertising into the magazine, and then I would do free videos on social media. And after the first year, all my advertisers in the magazine, every single one of them said some version of, hey, we don't care if we're in the magazine, but can you put us more on your social media account? And my cost was like 10 grand a month.
Mm-hmm.
It varied between 7 and 12, 13
Right.
to just make that magazine and put it out each month from the designers and the
And it's
layout,
not getting any kind of, now it seems like the physical media it's not going to go away, but it seems like it's more of a novel thing in the way where things have flipped backwards, where if you're doing well enough, you can have a magazine, but that's only if they're sold. Like, it's kind of backwards now, right?
Yeah. Well, and that real estate magazine is still doing well because it's those equal parts. The magazine has the novelty of getting it, and the agents like getting it, which, like, I love physical,
Yes.
music and media. So I get that. But if it was just that, it wouldn't work the same. But because they're super heavy on social media and they do these big in-person events, which is a component. Yeah, that one's still doing well because it has it. But when I was just doing the thing to new movers, the social media, like, it just comes down to attention.
And it's like you kind of they have to be informed already to want to pick up the magazine. The magazine is this extra, almost like, what's the word I'm looking for? Souvenir of the page they already like, a physical aspect to it. It's a bonus item, but it's not. Even right now, social media, I find that, like, when I first started doing YouTube, it was kind of like I would get way more views than I would subscribers, and it would just keep flooding in. And I would have a scenario where I would post some stuff to Instagram, but it was really hard to get people from Instagram to go over to the YouTube account. But I would get a lot of people on YouTube wanting more and going to the Instagram account. And that's the narrative I would kind of like, the correlation I would draw is that they're already a fan of that Instagram account. So now they want the magazine, right? But now I see a flip where now I have to post a lot of like Instagram reels and TikToks and shorts to try to get some of the crumbs to watch the full episode. It's so short form, so short attention. And it's like the amount of people that would read the magazine or would watch the full episode is such a small number now,
Yeah. I think, don't you think there is going to be a swing back to more long form content?
I think it never went away, right? But it's just like, there's so many options now, and there's so many distractions. To find the valuable one you want to spend your time with, it's just a lot harder to find it today. It's kind of like judging the book by the cover. There might be so many incredible things out there, but how do you find them? And you kind of need to find that little YouTube short, Instagram reel to then sit down for the 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get it. Like, think about it back in the day when you want to find a tutorial on how to fix your door. You're like, oh, an intro. Oh, like, give me the short thing. You don't want to watch their whole thing. You just want to show me to fix the fucking door, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. It's just, we're distracted, and it's a lot harder to find what you're looking for now. And it's ironic because there's so much more now, but I think it's harder to kind of like focus in. And, I go on my phone to find something, and I found that I wasted my time. I forgot why I was even looking, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting place we're at, because even I think about my personal habits. Like, I love movies, but I find myself watching movies less and less.
Right.
And then I'll think back of whether I was watching YouTube or scrolling through Netflix or whatever I was doing, and I spent however amount of time, like I didn't really watch anything, you know?
Right.
But it's like I have this desire, and I think back like I should have just watched a movie, or I should have just
Yes.
watched a show instead of spending 40 minutes.
Yeah. So
Scrolling.
see that you still want it. It's
I
just,
want it, but yeah.
how do you get there? Right. How do you get there is the hard part right now.
You know what it is? I think it's kind of like we live in this room where there's just like ding dongs and cakes and cupcakes and
Yeah.
chips and everything, and it's right there, and it looks and tastes good, and it stays accessible, and then we eat it all and be like, man, I wish I would have eaten a steak. Or
Yeah. You wanted dinner the whole time.
Yeah.
But now you're not hungry.
Yeah.
Damn, that's true. Yeah. It's just, yeah, it's kind of tricky. I also find like the algorithm thing, like on my YouTube account, I kind of get like the same few things, and the discoverability of new things tends to be in the YouTube shorts. That's like stuff I don't even want to see, but it's just popping up. But the other day I was on, I think my wife, like we were looking at YouTube, we were looking at it from her account, and it was like, whoa, I've never seen this before. Whoa, what is this? It was a whole different algorithm, a whole different world of Google, of YouTube that I was not getting, that she was getting. And but the analytical data has me so pigeonholed to only giving me what I'm seeing, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, also to think, you know, coming out of a world where, you know, pre-internet and pre-streaming and all that, I go all the way back when there were 4 channels,
Yeah.
you know, basically on TV, and that was it. So everybody had the same 4 options.
Yes.
Then we had cable, and everyone had the same 158 options, you know. And so for the most part, we were all in the same lane.
Yeah. Now someone's like informed worldview is really just like a designed algorithm just for you.
Yeah.
And they think everyone else should understand what they're thinking, but no one else is seeing the videos that they're seeing,
No.
you know?
And I'm seeing that with ChatGPT where, you know,
Oh, it's starting to kind of cater to you and tell you what you want to hear, right?
Or
Yeah.
sometimes I have to be like, hey, don't tell me what you think I want to hear. Like, I want to be honest, you know?
Yeah.
Because I find that, and I've heard other people talk about that. It's just
Yeah.
like, especially if you're conversing with it and getting information from it, asking it personal like advice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it's dangerous because it's gonna start to tell you exactly what you want.
It's really just trying to figure you out.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to figure something else out. And its objective is completely different.
Yeah, and you're like, man, everything I think is right.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Damn. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. I definitely use it kind of as a Google search, or I'll use it to like, I'll type something out. It's like a long run-on sentence, and I'll plop it in there, and then I'll be like, all right, remove those weird spaces. And then I'll go and copy and paste that. I'm like, this sounds stupid. And I'll change it. And I'll be retyping it, and I wasted all the fucking water for nothing. You know? But it's like, I don't know. It's getting better. Like, I don't know. I think that it's inevitable, and I don't know. How do you feel about the AI thing? That's a topic, right?
Yeah, I usually say I'm equally excited and terrified.
That's a great
at the same
perspective to
time.
have. Yeah.
Because it's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, and my usage of it, I know I'm just barely scratching the
Right.
surface.
But if you're like anti it, it only becomes that much more terrifying, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, remember when computers like really like everyone started to have a desktop computer.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it can do all these things. What do you use it for? Like, oh, I play Minesweeper. Like that's all I, it's this built-in game that was on.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
it can do some pretty amazing things. Like
I watched the pipe screensaver. Yeah.
You're using it to play checkers or
Yeah,
chess,
yeah.
like some basic. I feel like that's how I am with AI, where I use it as a asking questions, or to if I'm even writing a description, like hey, help me.
Totally.
This is what I wrote. Help me make it concise. Or,
Yeah.
I had one where I had a company reach out, wanted me to do a video where I won't do anything if I won't use it, like I get the weirdest emails. People wanted me to do a video on makeup or just crazy stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm like, one, if it's not it has to be tied to Riverside, and I have to be a customer of it. So
Right.
if those things don't exist, I'm not going to do it. But I had one reach out, and it was basically a campaign for using reusable bags instead of, and I'm like, yeah,
It's
that's cool. I
But
believe
how
in
do
it,
you how
but-
do you make substance with that? It's
Yeah.
not that exciting.
So they kept reaching out, and they were going to pay me a decent amount of money. And I'm like, well, and they wanted me to like go to Ralph's. And I said, well, what if I go to local stores and I make my own bag? And
Yeah.
I
What if we
just-
do this at like Clark's or something.
So I went
right?
to Clark's, I went to Isabella's Cupcakes, I went to Elliott's for pets. 3 places I shop, and just used the bag and just talked about it. It is good to do that. It's a good thing. They're like, yeah, sure. And they're, pay me a decent amount of money. I'm like, why are they? And I'm like, what's the catch? Are you guys wanting me to sell bags? They're like, nope. I go, am I going to have to link somewhere where go buy bags from this company? Like, no, I didn't have to mention a company or anything.
So what was the catch?
Remember like the Got Milk campaign?
Yeah.
Where it was basically like just some marketing company or that was
just a reusable bag
just
campaign?
a campaign, and they're doing it in different cities all over California and finding content creators to do it. But I went to chat and I was like, all right, here's the thing. And I just told it everything that they had said. I'm like, here's the email address that the email came from. Here's the website. Here's another company's involved. Here's the website. Give all the information. I'm like, I don't have any specific red flags, but my emotional red flags are going off. I feel like this seems like a scam. You're going to pay me that much money.
Turns out you're working for North Korea or something.
And it came back like that's legitimate. It found me other campaigns they had done on other things, and it ended up doing it, and I got paid. And I was like,
I wonder if there's just a budget to push people to get more reusable bags in the stores, especially California, like kind of getting rid of the plastic.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something to do with that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was where before I probably would have spent, I don't know, 30 minutes, maybe an hour on like digging on the internet, researching to get to a point where I felt comfortable, and it took like 20 seconds.
No, that's good enough for sure. That's cool. I like how you're able to tie in like your early days of the magazines, like using the community to get people to the sale, but then social media and the same thing. Even this thing with the bag thing, it doesn't have to be about the bag thing. It could be just a local thing that bag happens to be in. I think there's a lot of merit to that way of doing it.
Yeah. And what I'm doing now, where I'm in the process of kind of evolving my page a little bit, is I'm taking really just a playbook out of what I did in my original magazines.
Exactly.
I had a pet of the month, the artist of the month, family of the month, student of the month. I'm adding all those features to my page. So I'm like 3 months in now doing the athlete of the month. We're starting 2 students. We're going to have a regular student of the month and then a STEM.
Yeah.
We're doing an artist of the month, which I think we posted 2 already.
Cool.
Teacher of the month, family of the month. There's about 10 of them. And it'll basically be a digital article. So back in the day when I did like the student of the month, we'd spend an afternoon at the photo shoot. We'd get a photo shoot at the house with their family. We'd go to their school. If they were into a hobby, we'd have like 2 or 3 locations, have them change their clothing for each location, get a photo shoot, write an article, and it'd be a 2 to 4 page spread with 3 or 4 pictures. So I'm basically creating that into a reel. And
that from 2 to 4 minutes to 20 to 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And you're building this relationship where everyone is benefiting equally, like the consumers need them and they need access to them, and they both get their spotlight, and the local person feels hooked up and they're gonna spend money anyways. And like, hey, here's a local place you could do that today.
Yep.
And here's a Mark from Riverside card where you can get a discount today.
Yeah.
It's super cool. I love it.
Yeah. It's a win-win. And then I'm being really intentional with my sponsors on those. So I don't want it to be like, here's the student of the month brought to you by Coca-Cola, or, it's like,
it's kind of whack.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find a connection. So the pet of the month is sponsored by Elliott's.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. It'd be a bit of a bummer if it was Petco,
Yeah.
It is where the pets go, but we go to Elliott's, you know what I'm saying?
I heard that commercial yesterday. It's where the pets go.
Yeah.
I know. I heard that commercial. I was feeling like Max has never asked me to go to Petco.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's cool. I love that. So are you still trying to I remember when you were doing the thing with the dealership, you were expanding deeper into Inland Empire. Do you have any desire to do more stuff throughout the Inland Empire, not just Riverside, or are you just honing in on just Riverside right now?
Yeah, I want to do that too, but the way I'm doing it is like a monthly road trip. So it's like, hey, Riverside, here's a cool road trip.
Yeah.
We'll go to Upland, or even go to LA, go to Palm Springs. Yeah. So that's
really representative of Riverside. That's a big benefit of living in Riverside, is that you have access to these places so close.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm at the point where, because I'm still doing like the food stuff and the event, like the stuff I've been doing for 3 years, I'm still doing it, but then adding these 10 features and adding the monthly destination, and it's still just me. Yeah. I'm scheduling, I'm communicating, I'm shooting, editing, posting, everything.
The bread is, I'll just say the
bread is the bread.
Yeah. Whoop. Retention check. If you made it this far, comment below, made in Riverside, so I know who you are. If you're not from here, that's fine. You could kind of write something like, never been to Riverside. It's topical, and I want to see who's even here. It's kind of fun. It's kind of comical. I know it's silly, but it's a lot to get through something like this and spend this much time with me. So, let's enough interrupting. Let's get back into it again. Sorry. The food stuff like crosses all classes, right? It's like not everyone can like buy a house through the realtor, but everyone can like buy a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yep. That's like the most relatable kind of route you can go.
Yeah. Everyone wants to know where's a good place to get a sandwich.
Yeah. How was meeting Travis Barker at the 60 Miles East?
Dude, that was rad. I mean, he came in and it was basically like their media day.
Yeah.
Right? So there was in that room, there was probably maybe 30 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And it was forever. It was like 40 minutes. Zach and Ken just walked him around and showed him. They just went in and just spent time in each piece talking. And we're just standing there, getting video, but I'm standing right behind him and next to him. So for 40 minutes, just to hear them talk and just to see him just being himself, just talking. There was sharing memories about Spanky's and Showcase. I'm like, oh, I remember this and that. And would just be a fly on the wall to watch that.
Totally.
But he was just chilled, down to earth. He's just like a normal dude. Like,
it was crazy to see like you and the Riverside plumber guy, like talking about it for like a week, 2 weeks. And then that day happens and people are coming in the shop and they're talking about like, oh, did you hear Travis Barker has this thing? And it was like, what? Like the spotlight that they put on that worked.
They did an amazing job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zach and Ken, they killed it with that.
Yeah.
And you hear about what they're doing on Friday nights?
No, what's happening?
They're doing I think it's one Friday a month, and this Friday's the first one. Mono's going to be DJing it.
Okay.
And there's going to be a DJ. It's kind of like almost like a hangout, like club scene for older people, like type, older, like, non-teenager, really. 20s,
yeah.
Older means different things to different people. But yeah, it's like just cool hangout, music and food, but they're going to in the exhibit, at Riverside Art Museum. So yeah.
That sounds kind of cool. It'd be cool if they got like guest DJs and stuff and do stuff like that. Yeah.
So I'm going to check that out Friday. I'll do a video on it.
I'm excited to see that one. That's cool. That seems neat. I haven't even been to it.
You haven't?
No.
Dude, you got to go.
And it's right there.
It's right there.
Yeah. Oh man. I feel like I've seen so much about it online. I'm like, I've already seen it. But how much longer is that show running? Is it still up? Did I miss it?
Don't quote me. I think it's April.
Okay. That's okay.
Yeah. I hope I'm right. But
yeah. Ends on April Fool's Day. Yeah. Yeah, I would love to check that out. I need to do that. I need to do my due diligence and get down there.
Yeah, it's cool because they have like the bicycle from Showcase hanging.
Oh yeah, the one above the stage.
The Spanky sign, outside, and
that's cool. I just saw the wall with like the little zines and flyers and stuff.
Oh yeah, and then they have like ticket stubs with like No Doubt playing at Showcase.
Oh, that's fun.
Blink before they were 182.
Wow.
And, they have Bill Folds like calendar from the 90s, like his little,
Oh man, I'm excited now.
Yeah, there's cool stuff there. Like the trophy, I think it was the first band that played at Spanky's, and like Esau gave him a trophy.
Really?
That trophy's in there, and
wow.
There's some cool stuff that.
Damn.
Original Spanky's t-shirts and.
That is cool. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna check that out for sure. Then that's exciting. Your new tattoo healed up pretty good. Looks like.
Yeah.
That red stuck.
Yeah, I love that thing.
I need to get a proper like healed picture of that one. The picture I got that day sucked.
Yeah.
I love that one. The second to last one we did right there at the moth dagger on the back there. Yeah, that one's sick. Super unique.
That might be my favorite actually. Yeah.
You never get to see it. That's how they always go.
I know. I forget it's there too.
Yeah.
I'll see it in the video. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's back there.
That's how it goes. It's like, I think especially something about, I mean, you're doing it right, working down the arms. That's the proper way to do it. But especially people right now will start in the most visible spots and they're figuring out what they want. And by the time they really like figure it out, their coolest tattoos on the back of their thighs,
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of in that like weird thing where I got covered really quickly and then I started like lasering stuff up and then I'm like putting stuff over it, but I'm putting stuff, I don't know. It's kind of a wacky fucking mess. I don't know.
When did that change to start with the most visible?
I think I want to say like, so the joke when I started tattooing in 2009, we would call it like the Warped Tour sleeve, right?
Yeah.
And I think that when tattooing started becoming more acceptable, the person getting their first tattoo like wanted to show it off today, so they didn't want it up top of the arm. They want it on the forearm, you know. And I think it started to become like things where it was like, you know, the old way of doing it, like the Popeye placement, like where I, you know, popped your Sacred Heart, where I have my Sacred Heart right there. It became more like people want it on the inside, so they could like see it, you know. That became like, I remember that being a big thing. So I remember I got a big portrait there, and then it was so big it wrapped around where I had to get a tiny tattoo on the outside of the forearm. And I feel like the outside of the forearm is such a better classic look. You don't have to show it off. Your arms at your side. You reach for something. And that one big tattoo on the inside of my forearm that was for me kind of fucked up my whole sleeve. And so I kind of lasered that thing off so I could have lay out a proper stack. But yeah, I would say my generation of people getting the tattoos, I think that would be the generation of kind of like getting the lower arms and lower legs. You know, you wear baggy t-shirts, you're tattooed knees down and elbows down. And then I would say maybe shortly after that, maybe 10 years after that, it goes from that extreme to, instead of elbows down, it becomes like wrist down, neck up. And that's definitely been like the last like 6 or 7 years, 6 or 7 years of people doing that, you know?
Yeah, if I was doing it today, I would have a big Adidas logo on my.
That's
neck.
real, yeah. Man, good thing you didn't get into it today.
I know.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. Like I think we want tattooing to be accepted and recognized, and it's for everyone. And everyone can get it, and it's fine. But there is like a value in the repercussions and permanence of being tattooed. And I think that when you get tattooed young, it's inevitable that the things you like are going to change. You have to be okay with your tattoos truly being that story and being okay with that change and being like, this tattoo I got when I was 18 and this is what I would get when I was 18. You have to be okay with that. But I think also like certain places are more sacred than others, you know? So like maybe your silly, fun, drunk story, like shouldn't be your face tattoo. Yeah. It should be on your leg, right? And I think with tattooing being so accessible and being so acceptable, now the joke tattoo is on someone's face. And I think for me, that's kind of the danger that is right now, is that, you know, I think putting, you know, this young dude's girlfriend's name on the arm, okay, you know, putting it on his neck is like kind of a disservice and not okay to me. I don't, I'll take the bad Yelp review and not fucking tattoo your neck today. That's how I operate. But then I'm a dick and like I didn't tattoo that guy's neck today. So I don't know. You're screwed if you do, screwed if you don't, you know?
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, as a service industry, it's not my tattoo to wear. It's not my cross to bear. But I do feel like a bit of responsibility in tattoos. So there are younger tattooers that I know that would jump at the opportunity to do the crazy tattoo on the face to get the views on Instagram today. And I kind of just don't say anything. But for me in my practice, I don't think that's kind of okay for me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to be the guy to do that today.
It's crazy to think how much changed getting my first tattoo in high school in the 90s, then to where I didn't get one below my shirt line until I was in my 30s.
So here's another thing, a repercussion that comes with this accessibility that is tattooing, is that the only 2 bad reviews I have online for my shop are regarding hand tattoos, right? And so a big one would be like, you know, hands, they don't really look great. They fade a lot. Your skin's always shedding. You can't really take care of them. People find them to be the most sacred as they see them the most. So they want to go like wild with their hand tattoo, but the hand tattoo, the skin's really thin too. It's going to blow out a lot and it's going to fade a lot. That's where you should really like dumb your idea down and go really simple, you know? So people want like the most complex thing in the place where they kind of shouldn't be putting it. Now, I think that if you have tattoos and you work your way down towards the hands, you not only do you know what you want by the time you get there, but you also know how to take care of a tattoo. You're aware of how they age. Maybe you like old tattoos, so you're okay with getting new tattoos. But young person getting first tattoo on hand doesn't have any of that. They don't know anything, right?
Yeah.
And so there could be an issue that you do a hand tattoo and maybe it fades and they might look like, oh, it's all faded. And it's like, no, it's just healed and it's a hand tattoo and you just don't know what tattoos are and you just got one on your hand today, right? So that's one of them. Like my buddy did the boner fingers tattoo, the skeleton fingers,
Yeah.
right? I call them boner fingers. And she wanted to get them on her hand. She wanted all the shading between, but it's just going to look like dirty. It's going to look bad, right? And so he was like, we do simple like outlines, make it clean, this and that. Charged her accordingly. And she loved it. And I mean, I didn't do it, whatever. But, 6 months later, leaves a review like, this tattoo is too expensive and it looks simple and I could have done it. She posted a healed picture, luckily, and it looked flawless. It was so dope. Like a little line dropped out on the pinky or something. It's like, that's tattooing on the hand, right? But that would be something where she should have never gotten her hand tattooed. She wasn't ready to even be tattooed, right? And then the second one would be like this one kid came in and he wanted to get his first tattoo on his hand.
Very first one to impress like a girl he was like on a date with, right? We were all busy at the shop. And at the time, our counter staff was like, oh, like we don't have time today, this and that. And he's like, oh, well, when do you? And she kind of politely was like, oh, we don't really tattoo the hands, neck, or face. Like, it's like, what do you mean? You guys all have it. And it's like, yeah, but they're tattooers and they have more tattoos and this and that. Da, da. And so he wants it more. He feels left out, And so I take some time away from my client and I'm just like, you know what, man, like, it'd be really cool if you put it on your forearm, it'd be really sick and you can learn how to take care of them and how to heal and you can see it better, it'll age better and make it work. We could do a whole sleeve and make you look tattoos. Like, yeah, I want a sleeve. I'm like, we could do his sleeve and work down to the hand. He's like, no, I want to start at the hand, work it upside down right now, man. And, I'm just like, yeah, it's kind of backwards. He's like, no, it's sick. And I kind of told him like, hey, if I could do it different, this is how I would have done it. He doesn't give a fuck what I think, right? He wants what he wants right now. And I'm taking my time away from my customers paying me right now to kind of like have a little bit of a heart to heart and kind of break it down and tell him the things that I would like, I don't know, try and do the right thing, right? Ultimately, he leaves. I tell him, hey man, any other shop will do that for you right now. You can go right down the street. They will do it for sure. We're just not the shop for that, right? And he leaves and he seemed like nice about it, And then a couple days later, I got like a Yelp review, like 1 star. He wouldn't tattoo my hand. He embarrassed me in front of my girlfriend. And like, I laughed at it at first and I got kind of mad at it. And then I kind of came to this conclusion of like, I'm so glad I couldn't do it. Like he couldn't handle being told no to getting a hand tattoo. Could he handle being told no to getting that job because of that hand tattoo? Like he's obviously not grown enough to even fucking get a tattoo. But it's like, now it's like with this social credit score system that is like a Yelp. Now my shop is this percentage lower standards because I had standards that day. Yeah. Which is backwards.
Yeah. So it's just like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't,
Well, it is crazy though. For so many years, like, go to the beach, someone with their shirt off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And back in the day for me, it was like you see other tattoos that had been covered by their shirt, and then the white space was pretty common.
Yeah.
Especially for the average person.
Yeah.
And so when I see someone like their shirt off and they're like completely covered here,
it's like farmer tan bodysuit.
But it's just weird to me. It's just because it's the opposite of. It's funny.
I think there's also like a lot of integrity to that too, because like if you are getting those like big spots covered, it is painful. It does cost a lot. You are spending a lot of time in a tattoo shop. You're thinking about what you're going to get tattooed next. By the time you would say, like if we go back, right? You look at like tattooing in the 50s and 60s, it's going to be like a chest eagle, right? And then maybe something on your upper arm. And then you're really well to get the outer bicep Popeye ink replacement, right? The further you come forward, the kind of like the less wow factor it kind of has. Now it's kind of backwards where like someone getting their hand or neck, it like kind of like is uncool. It kind of seems like the most untattooed thing you could kind of do, like, but I think that if you were spending that time, if you lived in a time where tattoos really meant something and, there's repercussions of wearing those things, then by the time you filled all that up and you kind of started going to the arms, you know exactly what you want. And I think this that time and just getting tattooed, wearing tattoos, healing tattoos, you're going to make a way better informed decision on what to get on your hand one day. If you ever go that low that day, you know?
Yeah.
So I find myself, you know, I don't know. I kind of like, I find myself in this thing where like, I remember when I was young, I was kind of, wow, face tattoo. Wow, a hand. Oh my God, you know? And now it's kind of opposite. Now it just doesn't have that wow factor for me anymore.
Yeah. And the age it's gotten a lot younger, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot younger.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean, you know, at my shop now, like if someone walks in, they want to get their hand done and they're young, I like they do it, you know, in my personal practice, I don't do it, but I have someone at my shop right now that will do it for you. And they reflect, they have more in common with that client in that same age group, and they're going to do that and it's just like they have their person for that tattoo. But where I'm at in tattooing, it's just not what I'm into, you know?
yeah.
But other than that, like I'm here to serve. I mean, I'll do the person's thing. I'll try to do the best job I can. And then the next best thing is doing what they want. And as long as I can inform them, you know, it's like, sometimes it's not my job to give them a masterpiece. Sometimes it's my job just to give them what they asked for and just be thankful I got to tattoo that day, you know?
But one thing I appreciate about you though is that you're really good at, because even some of the stuff that you've done for me, I'll come in with an idea, and you're really obviously you're bringing to the table information that I don't fully have.
Right.
I'm never gonna have as much information because it's your job, it's your life, it's your passion. So you're really good at, if I have an idea or something I want to do with it, and it needs to be tweaked or slightly, you're really good at letting me know, like, hey, that's probably, we should do it this way for this reason. You know, your bedside manner, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, is you're really good at doing that. Where
I love that part. I love getting like work together, like to come to a conclusion that you couldn't have came to and that I wouldn't have even thought of, you know, like it's a collaborative process. It's not me versus you versus me. A lot of tattooing is us. It's we, you know?
Yeah. And that's what's cool. When I look back at each piece, it was like, we kind of like, I had an idea, you figured it out, you let me know what would work and what wouldn't work. And so I think that's part of the specialness of,
yeah,
for
I think
me,
so too.
my experience of having it, where like when I look at this piece, I remember the person that did it, right? I remember that day. I remember that experience, you know, and like I got this one for at your shop.
Yeah.
That was my first one. It was a guest. I just moved back.
Yeah.
And he was here just for the day. But like now I follow him on social media and see his stuff, and just, it's all part of it.
That's a cool part of like collecting them, you know, like that's all you're really collecting is kind of memories. Like it's kind of funny, like regardless of how deep the tattoo is, it's really like kind of when you got it, where you got it, who you got it from. Like it's more that mark in time. Even if it's for a different time, you kind of look back on the time you got it more than the time that you got it for, I guess.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but you asked the next piece. I really want to do a Pee-wee.
Oh yeah.
I really want to figure out, like, obviously the same style.
You could just do like, you know, you could do like a little filler, like almost the animated version of his head, like a little Pee-wee head.
Yeah.
That'd be like really like iconic and recognizable, I think, you know, because you don't have a lot of space for much.
No, I don't.
If you're sticking to arms, you know, we got to start thinking like that, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. I really want to do something. We went and saw Big Adventure was playing last night.
Oh,
theater,
really?
Which is the first time I'd seen it. At the
Which
theater.
theater did you go to see that?
Regal Plaza.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was like one night only.
Oh wow. What's coming down the pipe? What are the projects you're working on? Anything you want to announce, talk about?
Yeah, so with my page, just kind of expanding it to those 10 monthly features, and then kind of expanding my club card a little bit. And then Steve Johnson and we start doing videos together. He runs the What's Going On Riverside County Facebook group. It has like 240,000. It's the biggest Riverside page on Facebook. He's had that for a number of years. So him and I just started doing some history pieces on Riverside, like we've done on Tava Lanes, and do one on like Talia's Grinders, and just kind of tell, still a real still short form, but kind of tell the history of it.
Yeah, I like that stuff a lot.
And then long story short, we did the Tava Lanes, and then our buddy Chris at Riverside Bells made a little metal replica sign of the old neon, and we gave it away. And they're like, we should make stickers of this.
Oh yeah.
And then we have it planned out for all these history pieces, and each one's like, there's a really cool sticker like that we can make. And so we're like, all right, well, let's maybe just do that, and we'll give them away, put them out there, and like, well, maybe we should call this something. And we're trying to come up with a name, and Steve was like, like, he goes, whatever we do, we should put real small, like Made in Riverside on it. And when it was in the context of us trying to figure out a name, and when he said that, I'm like, that's the name.
Yeah, bingo.
That's the name. So instantly I jump on Instagram, Made in Riverside, it's available. I'm like, no way. Like TikTok, it's available. And then Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, everywhere it was available. Grabbed it everywhere. I'm like, hey, go to GoDaddy, and I'm sure madeinriverside.com is gone. But
you were telling him to call me up.
Yeah, I'm like, check.
You're like call Wayne. I mean, GoDaddy. I mean, Wayne.
Yeah. Call Wayne.
So the domain was available.
It was available, yeah.
Yeah.
And then checked for the not the patent, but what's the other? We're basically what's the word?
I should know this.
Yeah.
Not LLC. It's the fucking.
We need a guy sitting in the corner that can Google for us.
I know. Hey Jamie, pull it up. Yeah. Hey Jaime, pull it up.
Trademark.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
So that was available. So we applied for that. So basically, in like 30 minutes, we grabbed Made in Riverside everywhere.
Wow.
So we basically own those words. And so we're in the process. We're hiring basically a designer to really create a brand.
That's
so
cool.
We're taking our time with it, and we don't want to create something like, let's just stick Riverside on a shirt in 50 different ways.
Yeah.
Like, let's create a genuine, authentic brand that people would gravitate towards, even if it didn't say Riverside, and bring those two things together. So we're talking I think we might have found him. We're talking to someone right now to bring on and to really spend some time creating the brand.
That's cool.
And then start putting out products. But Made in Riverside will be the name. And so once we get that piece with him, then we're gonna start working on it. And we've announced that's coming. We have the website. You can sign up for email. Our email list to get notifications, and we have the Instagram, but we're not doing it.
You guys start trickling stuff over a bit.
So my last piece, Made in Riverside, that you did was when I showed Steve. I'm like, hey, we're really doing this now.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're not going to back out. So.
No, I was stoked to make that for you. I love that. I want that matching tattoo. I think it's cool.
I love it.
I'm excited to see that like work its way in there a little bit.
Yeah. I need to figure out what I'm going to do here. I want to just fill that in.
Yeah. You should put like some kind of like song lyrics across your wrist down below or something. Like something that goes like
here?
Yeah, maybe something that goes between both arms, kind of marries them together a bit, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Like with any like a flower or anything else, or just
No, just like simple text. Just something that like,
because I have the text under there.
see, you already got a theme going, you know? Like maybe 2 words on one wrist and 2 words on the other wrist, you know? Something like that.
So like words
cool.
under here.
Yeah. So from a distance, it would just kind of look like almost like 2 wristbands or something. You know what I mean? So from far away, it looks cool. It kind of caps off the sleeve nicely.
Yeah.
And up close, you can read it if you choose to. Everyone's just going to ask you what it says. No one's going to read it. That's the curse of words. But
so what about in here though?
Let me see a little bit. Oh, you do have a little bit of a gap, huh? I don't know. It's hard because it's like such a small space, but it's like it's an easy one to overthink.
What if we just did like something like that, like here, and then the words?
Well, dude, thank you for doing this. This is a good time, huh?
Thank you, man.
Yeah. You're in my dojo.
I know.
Yeah. Deep in the dojo.
This is a rad space too.
Yeah, it's small, but it does the job. A lot of people come in here and think that because of the camera angles I cut, that this room is big.
Yeah. We're in a closet right now.
Yeah.
No,
we're under the stairs right now. Yeah, Harry Potter's.
Our knees are actually touching. No, they're not.
Our toes are interlocked right now. We're holding toes.
Yeah.
We can do that. Look at let's see if is it there? There we go. Yep. See? All right. Thank you, dude.
Yeah, thank you, man. You're the man, Wayne.
Yeah.
Thank you for all my ink as well.
Yeah. Anytime.